Hey there, my name is Daniel Werjo. I'm a solutions architect with AWS. And today, I'm going to show you how you can take your AI game to the next level, beyond text chatbots. We'll build something that feels alive and interactive, perfect for real-world applications that your users will love. No more boring back and forth texts. We're talking about dynamic, engaging, and AI that makes sense for everyday use. Now, before we jump into the fun stuff, let's talk about some headaches that every GenAI developer faces today. First, building production-grade conversational experiences can be challenging. There are many considerations. For example, you'll need to generate outputs from a large language model, and that response can take a while. Users can get antsy waiting for a response as a result. Also, without some clever memory management, your AI assistant might forget important context, making conversations feel disjointed and impersonal. Now, balancing quick responses with meaningful, context-aware interactions is key to creating AI experiences that truly connect with your users. There are many tools out there that can help with a simple prototype, but doesn't have the extensibility to go to production. On to the second challenge, managing knowledge and actions. Your AI needs to do two big things: pull information from different places like your company database and documentation, and also interact with various tools and APIs. Think of it like a super smart assistant who not only needs to find the right information for the right question, but also knows how to use different tools to get things done. Whether that's checking the weather, booking appointments, or updating records, getting AI to smoothly handle both knowledge and actions is tricky, but I'll show you how to make it work. And finally, making it actually engaging, useful, and interactive. Let's face it, not all use cases work well with texts. Real applications need to do real things, whether that's showing interactive maps, handling bookings, or processing payments, or displaying charts, and so forth. Getting AI to work smoothly with modern interfaces and real-world transactions, that's the game changer we're after. Now, let's try building an application using AWS Amplify Gen 2. There's good reasons why we've chosen Amplify. Firstly, Amplify has a nifty personal cloud sandbox, allowing you to iterate faster. This sandbox is an isolated environment where you can experiment safely. It even updates as you iterate locally. Secondly, Amplify is built using TypeScript and AWS Cloud Development Kit, or CDK. This combination is critical when you're building production-quality AI applications. The strong typing system of TypeScript across the full stack helps you catch errors early in the development process, and AWS CDK allows for infrastructure as code, making it easier and flexible to extend your application. And finally, it comes with out-of-the-box backend definitions, client libraries, and UI components, everything you need to build a secure and real-time AI experience. This means that you can spend less time grappling with infrastructure boilerplate code and more time building experiences for your customers. Let me show you what I mean. So I'll set up a quick demo. Now, what I've done here is set up an Amplify application based on the quick start documentation. Amplify supports different frameworks and different languages like React or Vue. Personally, I'm familiar with Next.js, a framework on top of React, so I'll be using that in this demo. To set up, I'll start my personal cloud sandbox. This will spin up resources in the cloud that I can use personally for my local environment. As I make a change to my backend resources, it will watch any changes in my local environment and deploy automatically to the sandbox. To run the sandbox, you can simply type in a command npx ampx sandbox. Now, it can take a few minutes for your cloud resources to spin up, but while it's doing that, I'll also run a Next.js app locally. So I'll open up a new terminal and execute the command npm run dev. Now, if it's all working, I should now see a Hello World app. There we go. I might just give it a refresh to see if the latest deployment has come through. And another refresh just to see. There we go. There's a Hello World app there ready to go. Now, once your project is set up, let's see how quickly we can build a simple chatbot. So firstly, let's add a new backend definition on Amplify data resource file. So let's go to the file right now. So this file contains all the schemas and definitions for your backend. Now, what we're going to do is add a conversation route to your schema. Here, you can define the foundation model. For example, you can choose from all the amazing models within Amazon Bedrock. I've just chosen Claude 3 Haiku here. And you can also define a system prompt. This will just give the model a bit of guidance on how it should respond. Great. With just a few lines of code, we've just created a secure real-time API that's set up with authentication and generative AI. Under the hood, Amplify will orchestrate underlying AWS services such as Amazon Bedrock to access foundation models, and AWS AppSync to create a real-time AI gateway and GraphQL API. Pretty handy. Now let's look at the front end. So let's now add a new page and add a chat interface. This can typically take a lot of time to build. However, Amplify has some nifty built-in components and hooks to make this experience fast. So let's just go into the page now. And first, we'll replace the hello world with our component. The component takes in two parameters, messages and a send message handler. So let's go ahead and hook that up. Great. Now this component can simply be imported from the Amplify UI libraries. Not only that, you can also add some interactivity to the components. So to do this, you can simply import its associated React hooks and the components. So let's import the create AI hooks function here. And now we can extract the use AI conversation hook from the function that we just imported. Now within your React component, you can now use that hook to extract the state of messages and the handler. Let's do that right now. So here we're wrapping the use AI conversation hook to the chat resource that we've defined on your backend. And we're now extracting the messages and the send message handler. That's it. Let's now go back to the browser and see what we've changed from our Hello World page. As you can see, we now have a chat user interface. So we're just going to do a quick test and ask it, hey, are you a helpful assistant? And there it is. It says, yes, I'm a helpful assistant. There you go. As you can see, within just a few minutes, you have a working AI chatbot. Pretty cool. Now let's see if the AI chatbot has some other capabilities and features. For example, let's see if the chatbot is like a goldfish. Can it remember some stuff about me? For example, let's ask, hello world, what's my name? As you can see, it doesn't actually know my name just yet, but let's see if it remembers it after I send through my name. So my name is Daniel Werjo. And there you go. The assistant replies with a very nice message there. And if I ask it, do you remember my name? As you can see, it now remembers the name, which is pretty great. And I'll see if I can also ask it to remember my location, like Sydney. where I am at the moment. There you go. The assistant replies mentioning that it will sort of keep that in mind as it goes forward. As you can see, this is really powerful, as within a few minutes, we've built a chatbot that has some built-in memory management. It remembers some details about your past conversation. It's like the assistant has a notebook and jots down important bits and pieces. Pretty cool. Now, if you played around with some of these models, they're pretty amazing and have a lot of general knowledge. But hey, even these models have their limits. Let's try asking for some up-to-date weather information, like what I've just done. As you can see, the model is having trouble answering the question. If it's not in their training data, they simply don't have the knowledge. It's like asking your tech-savvy friend questions. They may be great with gadgets, but maybe not so familiar with the latest celebrity gossip. Now, one way to solve this challenge is to make our AI assistant more useful and equip them with tools. Here, you can equip them with APIs that can fetch information or even actions. For a quick demo, let's see if we can hook it up with a simple weather API. So first, I'll create an Amplify function called getWeather. So here, I'll just go to the getWeather Amplify function handler. Now, instead of calling a real API, I've just done a simple example mocking the response. So here, I've just said that it will return 30 degrees Celsius, just as an illustrative example. Now that you have the function defined, we can go to our backend definitions. And here, what we need to do is define that function. And we can simply write define function and point to the file that we previously authored. Just like that. Then we can add a custom query to our data backend schema. So here you can use the a.query function and reference the function that we just created before. You'll just need to specify a bunch of configuration here, like the arguments, the type that it returns, and also whether the function should be authenticated. Just like that. And there you go. Now that you've got the data schema resource defined, we can now add a tool to the conversation route that we previously created. To do this, all you need to do is define a tools parameter, and then just refer to the getWeather query that we previously configured. You can give it a bit of a description, just so the foundation model knows what that tool is relevant for. So there we go. Now that we've defined this, your AI assistant will be aware that the weather function is available for its use. Now, in this example, we've just defined one tool, but you can imagine giving the AI more than one tool here. Now, let's go back to our web browser and look at our chatbot. So if we ask it the same question, what's the weather like in Sydney? It now returns 30 degrees Celsius, which is what we had defined before in our mock function. So just going back to the function, you can see there that it's 30 degrees Celsius. Obviously, in practice, you can make this more dynamic. For example, you can call an API to return the current weather and even return some values, say, based on the user's current location based on their authenticated information. Or maybe you'd like to perform some mathematical or logical calculations, or even search the web for up-to-date information. These are some of the things that foundation models may not be so good at as compared to traditional APIs and applications. So it's a really good way to use tools to augment them. And maybe you can even perform some action with your APIs, like purchasing an item. The world is yours to explore. Now, that was pretty useful to equip tools to your AI assistant, but wouldn't it be cool if you can add a custom UI or even some interaction with your AI assistant? With Amplify, this is really simple. Now, what you can do here is simply add a response components property to your AI conversation component. The property here tells the LLM that it can respond with React components that you define, and they'll render that within the chat. So here, I'll just add a component to UI component to display the weather. Give that component some props like the city and the temperature, for example. There we go. And maybe also the unit, for example, Celsius or Fahrenheit, whatever you'd like to display in the UI component. And here we can define the component. So I've already prepared a component that I've pre-built for this demo. So I'll just import them here and pass in all the props that we've just defined before. So that's it. Now let's go back to our AI chatbot and web browser. And we can ask it the question, what's the weather like in Sydney? And as you can see, it now returns with a really nice dynamic user interface to display the weather, which is really great. Now, this is a pretty simple example, but now that we've learned how to equip the AI with tools and custom user interface, you can imagine a whole bunch of user interfaces and use cases from here. Think about interactive maps, displaying charts, handling bookings, and processing payments. Pretty cool, right? Before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize some key takeaways. Firstly, AI assistants don't have to be just another boring chatbot. You can make it interactive and useful by equipping it with tools and custom user interfaces based on your users' needs. And finally, AWS Amplify makes it easier than ever to build dynamic production-quality AI experiences. Would you like to try this yourself? I've put all the steps that we saw today onto a blog on Community AWS. Please find the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more AWS developer content. Do drop a comment if you have any questions. I'd love to help you build something amazing. Thank you.